You're now watching Creators on the Come Up, hosted by yours truly, Eliseo Way.
Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Eliseo Way. Let me just make sure we have some technical issues. Okay, I got my levels going in. Everything looks good. Everything sounds good. What's up, everybody? My name is Eliseo Way. Welcome to Content Ecosystem. On this channel, we focus mainly on content creation and monetization. But as of late, we've been focusing a lot on collaboration. This year, I really had an idea to reach out to some of my favorite content creators, particularly on the YouTube platform, and just reach out to them and really bring them on my show to see how, what we can learn from them and just really hear about their journey and just get inspired. So sorry for being tardy. Bars, we had some technical difficulties backstage, but that's just a testament to, don't get flustered, do what you do and stick to the course, stick to the process. And it all worked out. Thank God it all worked out. So we are here live, man. So let us know in the chat where you watching from. So like I said, I've just been blessed to have some really dope content creators come on the stream, and today is no different. We have the one and only Nick Nimmin on the stream today. He's in the green room. Yeah, man, I can't say enough about this guy. He is truly a gem in our space, the content creation space, the creative entrepreneur space, the YouTube space, and I learned so much from him. So this is a true fanboy moment right now. So man, definitely let us know where you're watching from. We're gonna have a really, really good show, and I'm really, really looking forward to it, man. So shout out to the ZV-1, man. I have the ZV-1. I'm using it for the second time. I really like this camera, man. I'm looking at the little eye detection thing, just literally follow me around, and I have a light on the camera so I can actually come up, and I like this thing, man. Shout out to the not the ZV-1, the ZV-E10, man. So I'm really feeling this camera right now. I had the 30mm on it, so I'm really feeling this camera. So we'll talk more about that. I'm thinking about doing a little a review on the video on that camera. So, but hey, without further ado, I have my little remote mic right here. Hopefully it works. Without further ado, man, let's go ahead. You already know how I like to get the show kicked off, man. Let's go.
We live. Creators on the Come Up.
Hey. Yes, sir. Oh, man. Let me see here. Sorry about that, guys. Let me get this off. Oh, let me unlock the scene here. Get this off. All right. And let there be light. All right, cool. Unplug that light. Let's get some beats going, because I don't like a dry stream. I gotta have some music or something going. So, oh man, we had a lot going on. Sorry, I'm a little flustered. We had a lot going on backstage. Literally, the time I should have been spent doing something else, we were kind of doing some debugging. So bear with me. But yo, without further ado, man, I'm really happy to be here. Shout out to everybody. Man, there's a lot of comments. I want to get to these comments. But first, just real quick, usually we try to keep this show to an hour. We're already kind of running into our time a little bit. Any question that you may have for Nick Nimmin, we're going to get to those. Any thoughts, anything, we would love to really just have a really dope community experience today with one of the GOATs in the space. So we're going to do everything we can to get him on right away. First, I want to let you know real quick about Video Marketing World. I'm actually a speaker at this event. So Video Marketing World, there's going to be some really amazing people there. I'll be in Dallas. I'll be a panelist and a performer. So it's going to be really, really dope. So make sure y'all hit that up. I'm just going to show a real quick ad about that, and then we'll bring Nick right up.
You have to come to Video Marketing World, because there is no other conference that is like this. This feels very much like a family reunion.
It is absolutely the best money I've spent. I've connected with people I've only been talking with online. The speakers have just been amazing.
This conference makes real relationships happen, real business happen.
As a creator, it's really easy to get completely wrapped up in our own little world. So you need to come to Video Marketing World so that you can learn what is working now by the people that are having the biggest impact in video.
You guys, this is seriously like the best YouTube conference I have ever been to.
You're also going to meet people in the hallways that are going to start relationships that are even more valuable than the content that you learn.
You need to come to Video Marketing World next year because knowledge is power. You grow because of what you know. but you got to make your way to video marketing world to expand your horizons. You can be the better you.
All right, so there you have it. That is Video Marketing World. Make sure y'all check that out. Let me turn my system audio down a little bit. Make sure these beats. Let me know if the beats are too loud, too low. I like to have a nice, comfortable level. But man, without further ado, man, this guy, one of the first people I came into his content when I got into YouTube. I'll get more into how I came into his content when I bring him on. But man, without further ado, let's go ahead and get Nick on the stage now. Brother,
what's going on? Nice to see you. Thanks for having me on the show today. Pumped up today to have this conversation with you, man.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped to have you too, man. It's one of those things where, like, I know me particularly, you look up to in our space. We can actually say they're like legit superstars in our space, like they're legit like famous in our space. So when you like see them online so much and you kind of like look up to them and you learn so much from them, just to kind of have them like on your show and just chopping it up with them is almost like a surreal moment. So shout out to you for even accepting. I appreciate that. I always say that you could have been anywhere else, but you're like, hey, I'm gonna check my guy out. So I appreciate you, man.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Thank you for coming on. And on that note, like I remember like the first time that I had like Daryl Leaves on my live stream, or the first time we did a collaboration, I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. First time I had like Tim on there, I was like, oh, this is great. I got Tim on a video, right? Like, as you start going through, I got Sean on there, I get Benji on there, like Roberto, like as you start going through the list, every time you're like, sweet, yes, this is awesome.
That's real, man.
All of that, I definitely feel you there.
That's what's up, man. Well, we're gonna get
Roberto in the house right now. Actually, what's up, Roberto?
Man, yeah, wow, we're about to jump in the comments. Actually, let's jump in the comments right now and just kind of give everybody a shout out. Shout out to our sponsors. We have IK Multimedia, Tube Buddy, Ecamm. I always like to show them love. They are the sponsors of the show. Tube Buddy, Team Tube Buddy, Rob Balasabas. I had some other people on here, so my overlays are a little okay. Cool. Rob Balasabas, I see you, brother. We got David in the house. We have Tremel, I see you. James Hicks, Facebook user, says we live. That's my MO. Excited to see Nick here with us. Yes, my vivid life. We have Martin, I see you. Woohoo! More Rob. We have Professor Nez in the building. I see ya. Challenge TV. Jillian, man, we have the man himself down in the comments. Don't you just love when your guests jump in the comments, man? We have Ground Tammy. I'm trying to run through these because we have so much to talk about, man. All right, cool. Did I miss anybody? Boom, boom, boom. We have Steve Worthy in the building. We have Roberto Blake in the building. I see you, brother. Another legend, another GOAT in our space. Kim Bucha, I see you. Man, so many people. I feel bad. I try not to be a bad host. I try to show everybody love. I think that's everybody though. We have Zeppelin 3D. Cool. All right, I think that's everybody. What you think, Nick? You think we got everybody?
We got through like a nice list. Anybody that didn't get named right there, we appreciate you hanging out. We know you're here. It's hard to name every single person. So thank you for hanging out. We massively appreciate it. We're going to share all kinds of fun information for you today.
Man, see, he's a professional. See how he just wrapped that up for me. He just buttoned that all up and made it nice and pretty, man. See, I gotta get good at that. Do you have like a broadcasting type background or anything like that? No,
I don't, man. It's just I've been doing this for a while. That's all it is. Practice. Just like anything else, it's practice. I actually, if you're familiar with Dan Courier from Creator Fundamental YouTube channel, so
shout out to people of video coming up. I think, right?
Yeah, video coming up. If you're over on the East Coast, that's definitely something you want to check out. But he shot me a message the other day, and he's like, "Hey man, I had YouTube recommending this live stream next to one of my videos, and I just wanted to shoot it your way." And it was like one of the first mobile live streams that I did. And it's so funny just watching the presentation, just kind of the cadence of the whole thing, and just watching that compared to, what it is that happens now in live streams. So, that evolution is kind of crazy. When it starts out, you fumble a lot and you're not really nailing it all the time. And you don't always nail it all the time anyway, but once you get that, experience and you do it a lot, then, it just becomes a lot more fluid. Yeah. And I just like to talk a lot.
Hey,
so there's that too.
Hey, yeah. I see what you mean now when I got the Vector made and you was like, I haven't had that much black hair in a while. I see what you mean now. I didn't know.
What I'm talking about right there. Yeah, you shaved at least 5 years off. And I appreciate that. I appreciate it. At least 5 years. Yeah.
No, that's hilarious. Yeah, man. So I want to kind of go back a little bit into your story. I think stories are super compelling just to kind of know a little bit of your background, like where you're from, how you even got started into like what you're doing now with YouTube and teaching and things like that. So I know I have a question. What is your ethnicity? Like, do you get that a lot?
What do you think my ethnicity is?
I don't know. I'm thinking of Nimmin. I don't know where that would derive from, Nimmin, but
So my ethnicity, I actually get asked that a lot. And I'm not sure why, but yeah. So
I feel bad asking you, but I mean,
go on record, right? I'm a white guy. So that's my in terms of heritage and all that good stuff. I actually don't know. I have never gotten into that. I had an aunt one time that she went down the whole genealogy route and all of that stuff. And I think I was like 12 at the time, and she's like, "Oh, this is amazing. Check this out." And she has all of this stuff like mapped out. Yeah. And I'm 12, and I'm like, oh, great. Like, hey, let's go open the Christmas presents or whatever it is that I'm here for. And now, I should care about that kind of stuff. But like I don't at this moment in time, I don't have kids or so it's like not that big of a deal for me. I know that I have my mom and I know that I have my brother. So it's like, that's as far back as I need to go right now.
I wanted to say you were a white guy, but it was the Nimmin that was throwing me off. I don't know. I've never met a Nimmin. So had you ever done any homework on that, where that comes in at Nimmin? It's such a cool last name.
I haven't. I know that's part of, what she did with hers. And I know that there was also like an issue with like my dad, and we won't walk down that road. But basically,
when are there not issues with the dads? When are there not issues with the dads? Right. No, that's dope though. So, all right, well, cool. That was kind of like something that I always like. I wonder what, now I know. So now let's kind of get into like, how did you, cause all right. So my first video I ever saw of you were, like, I was like, how do I format a YouTube video? I want to know like what's the proper format of a YouTube video? That was like my first video I ever saw of you. And you were like, look, you have to have your hook. You have to have your, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, like, look, I was looking at your thumbnails. I was looking at how you deliver your content, and it was so well put together as opposed to many other YouTubers where they kind of spitballing and just kind of going for what they know. And I get that too, but you had like a really dope presentation, even though it was a YouTube video. And back then I was like, well, it's just a YouTube video, but you really carried the YouTube video in a really super professional, super buttoned down manner to where it was easy to digest. It was easy for me to learn. So I've been a fan ever since then. And I think that was like 2017. I've been a fan since then. And literally, I think, man, like you weren't like, your channel just really blew up, but you didn't really have that many subscribers like back then. Like, where were you at 2017? Like 50,000 subscribers, 100,000? Not even?
I think I was at 100. I think I was at 100 already in 2017. I know I started the channel in 2014. Okay. September of 2014. It took me about 5 months to get my first 150 subscribers on YouTube. It took me 5 months. And then after that, I ended up going off and working on another channel, came back to my channel, and then it took a little bit of time. Yeah. But I do remember the first video that got legs. Wow. Typically I would publish a video, and when I would publish that video, my goal for that video was like, hey, I'm going to try to get, I'm going to share this around social media and all the right places and all that, try to get, 100 views on this video within the first hour. That's kind of my goal. Wow. And then it got to a point where when I would publish a video, maybe I would get, 100 views, maybe I would get, 500 views. But there was one video that I made to where I published it, and I had to go pick my girlfriend up from work, and I published it, and I was like, hey, I'm not going to answer any comments or anything. I'm just going to go do this. But by the time I got to her work, it had, like 2,000 or 3,000 views on it. And
what video?
That was like, whoa, that was like the fastest that had happened, on my channel up to that point in time.
And what video was that?
After that, the snowball started happening and just started, building everything up, from that point.
What video was that? I missed that part.
This specific video, I'm not sure. I just remember the moment, in terms of like, I published the video and then I went over to do that. I'm going to guess that it was an app video. Okay. Because during that time, I was finishing up a series on, on app related things.
Okay.
And I actually ended up abandoning that series, but that one particular video, I think it might've been an app video, but I'm not 100% certain.
So what were you doing before like YouTube, like right at that moment? Or were you working a job, or were you doing something totally different career path? What were you doing at that moment?
So I live in Asia. So I've been working online for like 14 years, almost 15 years now.
Oh.
Yeah. So most of that time has been freelance related things.
Okay.
In terms of doing graphic design, that kind of stuff. So my brother and I, because he was doing it before me, he actually mentored me through the whole thing.
Nice.
But basically, he kind of brought me into what he was doing, and I started doing like graphic design stuff, through that, doing contract work. And then from there, I also did some, freelance stuff on the side and that kind of thing. And that kind of helped broaden me out in terms of my online skill sets, because then doing the freelance stuff on the side, that helped me learn how to rank blog posts and things like that, which allowed me to carry that SEO knowledge right into YouTube, which was fantastic.
Wow. That's lit. So who's older, by the way? D's old. Oh, yeah, D's older. Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay, cool. So yeah,
everybody says that. Do I look that old? Maybe I do need to start dyeing my beard or something. I don't know what's going on. Everybody's let's
put young Nick back on. There it goes. I'll help you out there, brother. You good?
Thank you. Perfect. It's exactly, yeah.
No, perfect. But I think it's because you came into the YouTube world earlier, so gaining speed, you kind of maybe had that seniority, big brother vibe, I guess. So that's pretty cool that you say he mentored you, and then you were able to return the favor and mentor him in the YouTube world, the space, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's lit.
So yeah, he and I are extremely close. So, we've always done something together in some kind of way. Not always, but we're brothers. You know how it is, right? So we're brothers. So if one of us is doing well, then we try to, pull the other one into it in some capacity. So if we take that offer or not is one thing, but we always try, right? So it's hey, this is going well. Is there, any way that, you can, come into what it is that I'm doing type of thing.
So let me ask you, when was the moment when you were like, bro, YouTube? And he was probably like, nah. You was like, bro, YouTube.
It took a while. Yeah, it took a while to actually get him on. Yeah, but once everything started going really well. So when I first started the channel, I actually didn't even say anything.
Wow.
Because when I first started my YouTube channel, I didn't want to be on camera. I didn't want anybody to find out. I was like, hey, I'm just going to try this and kind of see how it goes type of thing. And I was, I did everything the best that I could at that point in time. But I was still I'm older, in my 30s, hopping onto YouTube. Yeah. So I don't want, people giving me a hard time about it, things like that. And so because of that, I was like, I'm not going to say anything about it until it starts going well or whatever. Yeah. And he actually ended up seeing one of the videos that I was editing, and he was like, oh, this is interesting. What is this? And I was like, oh, it's a thing that I'm doing for YouTube. And he watched it, and he was like, wow, man, this is really good. And I was like, huh, interesting. So all this big buildup that I had on my head on the hard time that my brother was going to give me, just being brothers, just giving you a hard time about stuff. I was, that expectation that I had, it didn't come through. And and he was like, wow, this is pretty good stuff. Wow. And then from that point, he just kind of watched, from behind the scenes, and just kind of watched me do my thing. And then once I started getting serious traction, that's when he was like, yeah, this is something that maybe should be taken seriously.
Wow. So I love that, because I think so many times as YouTubers, we can say that, and creative entrepreneurs online, there's a real disconnect with people who don't even know that this world exists, right? They're so traditional, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're so traditional in the way they proceed with working or earning income, to where we're like unicorns to a lot of people. Maybe not so much now, but I know a few years ago, straight unicorn status. So just to see that, I had the Clever Programmer on last week, and he has over 1 million subscribers, and he was telling me he got his big brother. Oh, same thing. He was like, his big brother got fired, and he was like, yes. He was like, now you will take YouTube seriously. And he took YouTube seriously. Now his channel is growing. So it's just amazing to see that transition from that traditional work life to, more of this type life. So this is his channel, you guys. I'm pretty sure most of you guys are already subscribed, but this was one of the things that I remember seeing when I went to your channel, how well organized it was, how well it was like the thumbnails and stuff, again, this was 2017 when a lot of people weren't really taking YouTube that serious, on the front. And just to see how well you organize and, you know, your channel, it was just like, yo, this is some totally different stuff here. So we're going to get into that, you know, but before we get into that, I just kind of wanted to jump into a little bit of the comments real quick, because we have a lot of people who are leaving comments. I don't even know where we left off, but yeah, it's Roberto Blake said, Nimmin is the same frontwards and backwards. Wow. I didn't.
Palindrome. Yep, it's a palindrome. Yep.
So yeah, we have.
Hey, we got Phil Starkovic in the house. What's up, Phil? Hope you're doing awesome, man.
Oh yeah, I think I did. It's Nimminati. How'd you come up with that? Was that just like your community?
That came from a live stream. Yeah. So one of the things that is extremely effective when it comes to building a brand of any kind is, you know, just coming up with different ways that people can connect to what it is that you're doing. Wow. And on YouTube, that also applies. And one of the things that helps with that is coming up with a name for, you know, for what it is that you do. Like for the people that are interacting with your stuff. If it's a company, you know, then the people that are using the product. If it's a YouTube channel, the people that are watching your videos. Wow. Basically creating a squad name of sorts. And for a long time, in my head, I'm like, man, you know, I want to come up with a name, but I just couldn't find it. And, you know, I'm like, everybody does squad, everybody does, you know, nation, everybody does, you know, these other things. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it until, you know, I can come up with something really unique. And I mentioned this whole thing on a live stream when my brother and I were streaming together. I mentioned this on a live stream, and the community just started, you know, throwing out names. Hey, this, and this. And then one guy, Gord Eisman is his name. He put Nimminati in there, and when he put that in there, I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And then you know, the chat was like, oh yeah, that's it, that's the one. And then everybody, like the whole community, pretty much agreed that like, hey, that's what we're gonna be, you know. That's what we're going to do from now on. So that's where that came from. Nimminati.
I love that. Cool. Question. I know we had an issue. I don't know why I have a. I'm having an echo. Hold on 1 second. All right. Just want to make sure that's not me. All right. Cool. Well, do you hear echo? If not, we're just going to keep rolling. You're good?
I do not on my end.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. Don't worry about it then. I can deal with the echo. So I know we had some technical difficulties with how we had to set up before we got on. But one of the things I really love is your live streaming setup. Now, through how you have it hooked up today, are you able to show the different camera angles?
I am, but I wasn't prepared to show the different angles, so I actually don't have those cameras on or anything like that.
Cool. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so right now, I'm not able to show that at this point in time. If you gave me a few minutes, I can set it all up really quick.
No. Well, I'll leave that up to the viewers. If that's something they want to see, just say in the chat, yeah, we want to see it. But if not, listen, you stream every Saturday, right? Still?
Yeah, every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
So what I would say, because I remember literally screenshotting like your setup from like when you go live. I would just, every time you switch camera angles, I would screenshot. And I would just take it and then I would show my wife. I'd be like, look, this is what I'm trying to go for, which I haven't made it there yet because I have like a 10 by 10 room that I work out of. And then my wife has the other half of the office. So it's like, but you know, when I get that space, I want to build mine out. We want to get a little bit into like the content creation and why did you get into live streaming? I think that's a great question of like, when did you realize, live streaming is a thing? Like I need to really take this seriously. When was that?
For me, it was as soon as YouTube released their mobile live streaming inside of the YouTube app.
Wow.
Basically, Brian D. Johnson hit me up. And he was like, you know, hey, you're over 10,000 subscribers. This just got released to people over 10,000 subscribers. Do you have access to it yet? Wow. And I pulled up my app, made sure that it was updated, and I had access to the feature. So I was like, hey, dude, I'll be right back. I'm going to go run in the room. I'm going to go live for a few minutes, and then I'll come back. And I went in the other room, and I was live for like 2.5, 3 hours during that stream. I just stayed live until my battery went dead. And during that stream, you know, a lot of people, because YouTube at the time, they were, you know, pushing out those mobile live streams because it was a new feature. They always do that with new features. Wow. So that very first live stream, I had a lot of people coming in. I think my peak concurrence was right around 350 people at that time. Wow. Which, you know, for my channel size and, you know, the niche and all that stuff at the time, I mean, that was fantastic.
Yes.
And in addition to that, Roberto Blake, who's in the chat right now, he came into that chat as well. And that was like my first time, you know, having Roberto Blake in the chat. And I was like, in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, Roberto Blake's in here. This is crazy.
I know. Right?
I was like, this is awesome. But that, and then all the other people that are in there as well. Just all the interaction and just having people ask questions and answering all those questions on the fly and doing all of that. It just, like, I was like, wow, this is awesome. I want to do this on a regular basis. Yeah. And from that day forward, I've been live streaming almost every single week on my YouTube channel. When I was first doing that, I would live stream 2-3 times per week just for the sake of, putting out additional content, because I was loving the experience of live streaming. Yeah. But then I locked into a consistent every Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, and without... Well, there's been a few breaks, like if I travel or something like that, or if I just don't feel like doing it. But for the most part, I've nailed 9 a.m. Eastern for the last several years now.
Love that. So your setup, your live stream setup, obviously was came together over time. Obviously. Yeah.
Absolutely. And with this place too, because I just moved into here at the beginning of the year. So when we bought this place, I was like, hey, this is great. I'm going to turn this entire room. I get to, because I was renting before. So I'm like, now I get to actually build stuff and make it, exactly how I went. So, I've got a truss in here that I have lights mounted to, it's crazy.
I know.
But I was like, hey, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to try to make it as cool as I can, for the space that I have.
Build out. I forgot to ask you, how do you end up in Asia? Is that where you from, or is that?
No, so my brother, he was working online, like I'd mentioned earlier in the show. He was working online already, and because of that, he was traveling all over the world, and he was able to stay here a lot of time. He was able to stay in a lot of places. He traveled and stayed in tons of places, but he really enjoyed it here. Okay. And so because of that, he was spending a lot of time here, and I got out of a relationship, and he was like, hey, all expense paid trip, come over and hang out. Hey. And yeah, right, brother hookup right there. I was like, yeah, I'm in. So shout out to D. I came over and I spent 30 days over here, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. And at that point in time, I wasn't working online. I had a commercial cleaning service back in the States, and I had a door-to-door marketing company in the States at that time. And I was like, I would love to be able to stay here, but obviously I don't know how to do what you do. And he was like, if you're interested in this lifestyle, I'll mentor you and, show you how to get customers online and, all of that good stuff. Wow. And so I was like, yeah, I'm in. So I went back and started, getting rid of the stuff that I had before and started, focusing on polishing up my design skills, because I learned all that stuff in high school. I was using Photoshop when it was actually called Photoshop without all the version numbers on it. But I was, using that, same with Illustrator. So because of that, I was like, hey, I'm going to polish up on my, design skills. I'm going to use that as the thing that I'm going to, start offering services through. And then through his mentorship, he showed me how to, basically hop on all the different forums and things like that, and, look for people that were looking for work and hit them up and so on and so forth. And then I ended up being able to consistently get enough clients to where the income became stable. And then as soon as that income became stable, I was like, I'm out of here. And I ended up, coming over to Thailand.
Wow, that is crazy. That's an amazing story. People are saying they're still getting a slight echo. I don't really know why.
I bet it's because it's probably my fault, because basically for everybody that's hanging out here, as I was coming on to this, there's just some issues in terms of the browser and whatnot. So I ended up having to kind of hack together how this is working. So I have an HDMI going out of my A10 Mini Pro and into a cam link going into the computer. So I'm guessing that might be causing be causing the echo in some way.
It's fine though.
They said no more echo.
No more echo.
Yeah. Okay. Original Ryan Gaming says no more echo.
I don't even know how it came and left though, because we didn't change anything. So it is what it is. This is internet, guys. This is live, so everything is live. So
one thing I did do as well is I went into my Rodecaster Pro and I did switch on my mix minus, which could have also been doing it. But when they were saying that it was still coming through, I was like, oh, okay, then that didn't fix it. But now if they're saying that is it, then that could have been the problem too. It's all my fault. It's all because of me. Yeah, it's all.
I was going to take the heat.
He's doing awesome. This is all my fault.
I was going to take the heat, bro. You didn't have to do that. But I think that's really dope, man. So now you're there. You're a lifer over there. You're an You're an Asia lifer over there. You're never coming back. You're done.
Yeah, I don't plan to. So I've got a whole life over here. We've got a house. My girlfriend's here. We've got a dog. My life.
Man, when you get a dog, it's over. When you get a dog,
right?
Right.
You're fully committed as soon as the dog shows up. Fully committed. Yeah.
So, what part of the States were you from? Like, what state?
Ohio, born and raised.
Okay, what part?
Yeah.
I have friends.
Cincinnati.
Oh, Cincinnati. I have family in Cleveland.
Yep.
That's what's up. Dope, man. So how has it been adjusting to that lifestyle over there? Has it been hard, difficult? Have you adopted the language?
I loved it, man. Like as soon as I came over, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then, once I came over here to actually live, I committed first to 1 year. I was like, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to experience it for a year, see what I think about it.
Yeah.
When that year was up, I was like, all right, selling everything, coming back over here for good. And then now, it's 14 years. Maybe I'm rolling up on like 15 now. So, I've been over here for a really, really long time. So because I'm so used to it here, when I go back to the States, everything feels weird. So like, I feel more like a tourist now when I go back to the States compared to, the life that I live here.
Wow. Shout out to, I guess somebody gave me a super chat. I'm sorry. I've been so focused on Nick. So if you gave me a super chat, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I don't want to take your money in vain and think I don't appreciate it because this money's not easy to come by. So thank you for your $5. I appreciate it, man. So you see sometimes you see drama in the States and just be like, oh, they're good. That's their problem.
That's exactly my approach. Yeah. So basically all the craziness that's been going on for the past, I don't know few years now. Yeah. Like that whole thing, like I'll wake up and like, let's say I'll hop on Reddit or something and I'll just kind of look and I'll see like, oh, wow. So they ran into the Capitol building and then I'll just like, shut it down and then, just kind of go about my day. Same exact thing with, a lot of the other things that are going on over there. I'm just kind of like, man, everybody could be in a much better situation. You know what I mean? If they just, did things a little bit differently, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. So you have dual citizenship or you just single? How is that?
No, so I have to go through the process of jumping through like different visas and things like that over here. So that's one of there's two bad things about where I live. One is every year we have something called burn season, which means that a lot of the farmers and stuff, they burn crops, and then this whole area, because we're in a valley in Chiang Mai, so this whole valley just gets filled with smoke for a few months actually, but it's only bad for usually like a handful of weeks.
Okay.
But there's that. And of course I can go to a beach or something during that time if I want to, but I usually don't. I usually just bunker down and stay here. Yeah. But the second thing is just the uncertainty when it comes to visas. So when I get married, it's not going to be like that big of a deal. But for right now, it's it's one of those things that that I always have to stay on the grind in terms of trying to make sure that my visa situation is okay.
Gotcha. But at any point in time, you can hop on a plane and come back to America and you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Because
I mean, pandemic aside.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Pandemic aside. Yeah. I can hop on a plane and
Gotcha.
go, anywhere. No problem at all. I'm still a U.S. citizen. So I have all of the, luxuries, so to speak, in terms of travel when it comes to that.
Good. Because it would be dope to see you like I know not now, but like, eventually coming to conferences and meeting up in person. And I seen some videos with like you and Brian, Jean, and Roberto. I think y'all all hanging out. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing about coming over there, man, is like, getting to hang out with, with the crew, so to speak. Yeah. And you're just getting to hang out with everybody and, just catch up because, like having, relationships online is one thing. Because there's that and it's cool, but when you actually get to hang out with people in person, then you don't have those time restraints in terms of like, hey man, I got to get off of here, I got to hop on another call, or like things like that. You're just like hanging out and you get to like really get to know each other, which is awesome, and that's one of the things that I really love about going to the States for conferences is that.
Cool. Well, I didn't mean to get in a rabbit hole of too much personal stuff, but I always found you a very intriguing person. So I was like, if I could ask him some questions, I would ask him these questions. So now that I got all those out the way, I know you're a white guy and you moved over. Right. So from white guy from Cincinnati. Yeah. All right, cool. So we want to get into like some hardcore YouTube stuff real quick. I always like, this is kind of a hard question to ask some people, but depending on how you look at it, I would love to know first of all, when did it hit you that YouTube was a full scalable business model that you should take 100% seriously and like figure out how to scale it? When was that for you? 2017 or before that, or like when did
in terms of nailing down the year, I can't really do that. I would say 2015.
2015.
would be that time, because it'd be about a year after I started my channel, or somewhere in that window. And basically what happened is I was making the content that I make for, for my channel now. So I wasn't doing like YouTube help stuff. I was doing like, how to come up with video ideas. I was also talking about like how to stay productive when you're working in a coffee shop.
Oh, nice.
How to stay productive general, how to stay motivated when you don't feel like doing stuff, those types of topics on my YouTube channel. And it wasn't really targeted towards anybody, just like everybody else. I came on and I didn't really know, what I was doing. So, so because of that, I was just doing a bunch of like random type of content just based on my life experience at the time. And then I had the opportunity to work on another channel with somebody that actually knew what they were doing. And during that process of working with them, that's when everything changed in terms of my perspective on, the possibilities of YouTube, in terms of getting confident in myself, because that's a big part of this as well, is just the confidence and like, yeah, I can do this. I can make an impact here. So just helping me build that confidence, and then of course helping me understand YouTube better, and then of course through their experience, just sharing some information with me in terms of some of the possibilities that are in the future, as long as I could make things work on the channel. So so for me, I would say that happened during that period of time, which would have been right around 2015.
What would you say is the single most important thing that you did when you sat down and you had the epiphany, like YouTube is a game changer? You sat down, you had that epiphany. What's the single most important thing you feel like you did to really take that seriously and like grab the bull by the horns and help your channel blow up?
I internalized, or I deeply understood that it was a serious thing, and I committed to, even though my channel wasn't big at the time, I committed to looking at my YouTube channel and everything that I was doing around my YouTube channel like I had already made it. And the reason for that is because when you are halfway doing something, or you're doing it as a hobby, or you're just trying it and you're hoping that it'll work out, the approach that you take is completely different than if you're like, this is what I'm doing. If a professional content creator is, sitting down to come up with video ideas, how are they doing it? Like, what exactly is the process that they go through when they do it? How much time are they spending on thumbnails? How much time are they spending on videos? Like, every single thing that I was doing, I was taking the approach like I had already made it, in terms of like, I'm going to take this as serious as I possibly can, because if I take that approach, like I'm already a big content creator, then I'm going to be doing all of those things that will help lead me into that position of a larger YouTube channel.
I love
so for
that,
me,
man.
it was a perspective shift that helped me just kind of change the way that I was approaching everything. So it wasn't a, hey, I'm going to do YouTube after I do all this other stuff. It was a, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do YouTube, and then I'm going to do all that other stuff, once I get done with what's important on YouTube.
I love that. I got to step down on that. You internalized it first, right? And then basically from that point, you visualized, and you basically, I don't want to sound spooky, but you manifested it based off of your perspective of, I'm already big. And that perspective shift is so important. It's like, if I do it like I've already made it, if I do it like I'm already big, I will be big. I will make it. And I know it sounds so simple, but that's actually the case, because your work ethic, your decision making, everything will line up with that of a person who's already made it. And that makes the difference from people who make it and who don't. So that was amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Got to drop the gems
and
on
with that too, if you don't mind me adding to it,
go ahead,
like
bro.
when it comes to that, like the the difference is, it's not just thinking about it and putting a photo on the wall and saying like, hey, here's a photo of a play button, I'm going to turn that into a real one, and just kind of thinking about it.
Yeah,
it's that, but it's also like, okay, I'm going to approach this in as a professional way as I possibly can, so that I can make that thing happen, right? Or at least give it all I got, right? If it's gonna happen or not, that's one thing, but I'm at least gonna give it all I got. So, just taking that approach for me was a big part, in my opinion, of what ended up making things, ultimately end up working out.
Roberto says, when I come to Thailand, how long should I stay for?
A month. Yeah, you got to give it a month, man, because once you come over, you have to deal with jet lag. So people will usually take like a couple of days and just kind of chill out at like a resort or something and just deal with the jet lag without, trying to rush everything. And then once you get through the jet lag part, you definitely want to hop around the country. You just don't want to go to one place and then call it a wrap. You want to come up to Chiang Mai and see what's going on here. You want to go down to the beaches. You want to see what's going on in there. You want to spend a little bit of time in Bangkok. You might, even during that 30 days, depending on, how much you're enjoying those things, you might also want to hop on a plane. And of course, Roberto, if you come over, I'm doing all this stuff with you. But you might also want to hop on a plane and hit Cambodia and go over to like Angkor Wat in Cambodia, so things like that. You want to make sure that you give yourself enough time to be able to like really experience and really kind of soak up the experience here.
Shout out to Phil. I appreciate the super chat. Man, I earned $15 on the streams.
Super chat.
Hey, I need that. Can you send me that trigger? I would have loved that, man. So he says, great conversation and excited that I discovered the channel via Nick's promotion of the stream. Subscribe. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. For anybody else too, like the stream. If you're enjoying what you see, like the stream, share it. That's basically how us content creators make it out here in these internet streets. If you guys don't share or like, then we're kind of stuck in the water there. So I appreciate that. So cool, man. So that mindset shift, and then you're really so it makes sense now because you say you had a graphic background. It makes sense that how serious you took your thumbnails, right? It makes sense, but you don't have a broadcast background, so you had to learn proper scripting and all that. So I mean, how was that process of learning scripting and just really putting the whole package together? I mean, I know it came together over time, but like, when do you really feel like, man, I got it now? I have a system, it's sustainable, repeatable, and I got it now. Like, how is that?
In terms of when that happened, like I got it in terms of the system, I would say that probably never happens because I'm always, even now, like sometimes like I'll kind of change what I'm doing. So for example, like I'll have periods of time to where my videos will be nothing but freestyle, to where, I'll just be like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Let me just go in and hammer it. Then there'll be other periods of time to where I'll say like, okay, I'm going to work off of bullet points, and then I'll just come in and hit those. Then there'll be other periods of time to where I'll say, okay, I'm going to work off of bullet points, but then I might add like a little bit of a paragraph here because I'm going to talk about something technical. So I need to make sure that I'm, nailing this specific information. So, so I'm always kind of evolving the process. And of course, other things happen as well. So, for example, like I have somebody that helps me edit the YouTube videos. Shout out to Vigard. And like in that case, as soon as that happens, then, that also makes an adjustment to your workflow as well, and just kind of how you approach everything. And it just it just changes the workflow. So basically, like as you're going through, you're constantly evolving. So as part of that, one of the things is I have a clips channel that I started, and part of that process also needs to be worked into the workflow as well. So because of that, like basically somebody pulls down the streams, they edit them up, and I had like a kind of a pain point recently in terms of like it wasn't fitting into my workflow. I was trying to find somebody else to do it, couldn't find somebody else to do it. So now I've managed to work it back into my workflow to start getting content out there consistently as well. Nice. But little things like that. It's just a constant evolution of just trying to fine tune things in order to just make everything a little bit more efficient. Because the better you can fine tune things, that's less time you got to spend not doing the things that you,
those aggravating factors.
Yes.
Yeah. So too many of those will totally kill your creativity. So it's all about, those things, delegating that type of workflow. Were you ever an editor of your own videos?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. I edit stuff now sometimes too. Okay. Like even though he does a bulk of the content, like for me, like I enjoy editing, and editing was really hard for me to let go. But I understand the importance of, needing to do that in order to, focus on other things. So because of that, like I'll still edit, content from time to time myself as well, just for the sake of, going in and doing it. And it keeps me fresh, because one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to detach myself from the thing, so to speak. Because when you detach yourself from the thing, then you're not immersed in it anymore. So because of that, I like to make sure that I'm, that I have a hand in, in the stuff sometimes, in order to make sure that, that I stay, just stay a part of it. No,
that's real. Staying attached to it. We have a question here that I want to make sure that I address. He said, Eliseo and Nick, you are Cleveland Guardians baseball fans. We're going places. That's what's up. Yeah, I guess you could say that. So let me ask you this. you don't come off as super salesy, you know, on your videos like a lot of content creators do. And that's their thing. That's not no knock to nobody. But some content creators, every video is like, oh, you know, it's like the call to action is super salesy. Of course, you got to have a call to action. I get that. But some people are more like, just subscribe or, you know, follow me on Instagram or whatever. You don't come off as super salesy. I'm really interested. And you can choose to go in as deep into this as you want to or not. But I'm really interested to see how you have diversified or like structured your income streams based off of YouTube, being that you're not super salesy. It's not like you're shoving your course down people's throat. You're not shoving books down people's. I don't even have a course. You don't even have one, period, at all. Right. Wow. Look at that. So now I'm even more intrigued because I'm not a super salesy guy and so many people aren't. They don't want to be trying to sell nothing, but we still have to make a living. So how does that look to you to be not super salesy, not shoving courses and books down people's throat, and still making I'm pretty sure you're making a really decent living thanks to YouTube. So how does that look for you income stream wise?
So in terms of not being super salesy, that comes from one, just being a creator first. So, you know, it just took me a while to kind of wrap my head around. But basically what seemed to happen when it came to YouTube was once, you know, I started getting the ball rolling, it seemed that the more that I freely gave, the more came back to me in other ways. So because of that, I just kind of, you know, stayed on that path in terms of like, hey, I'm going to be creator first. I'm going to be trying to help people out. And then during that process, I'm going to share with them, you know, some things that, you know, will help them out. And I'm only going to bring attention to things that will help people out as well. Wow. So because of that, on the affiliate side, I do well. On the sponsorship side, I do well. Of course, you know, YouTube ads. I mean, I'm, you know, like, people discount, you know, YouTube ads. And, you know, I've also said before, like, don't rely on YouTube ads, and I still stand behind that. However, you know, with YouTube ads, super chats, channel memberships, all that stuff, the on-platform, you know, monetization, it adds up, you know, over the course of the year. So, you know, so there's that as well. Plus, I bring attention to my website, tubertools.com, that also has a membership area as well. Woo. And with those things, basically all of that stuff combined ends up you know, creating a comfortable lifestyle for me from YouTube. And when it comes to the course, you know, keep in mind, I will put out a course, but it just hasn't been something that has been a priority. And to be honest with you, like one of the things for me that I've always struggled with when it comes to courses is, and it's funny because I just heard Ed mention this yesterday too on the Film Booth YouTube channel. But one of the things that I've always struggled with courses is that I do know that, you know, majority of the people that do go through courses, that they don't complete the course. So because of that, you know, I've always struggled with that side of thing, even though like I've had incredible opportunities in terms of, you know, possible promotion if I were to have made a course and things like that. Yeah. So, you know, like I've dropped the ball, so to speak, you know, when it comes to courses, and I could have probably made a substantial amount of money if I had a course for the past 5 years. But I haven't. And I actually don't have a problem with that. Like I said, eventually I will. But as of right now, you know, like it's just not a priority at this point in time. Yeah,
I was on a podcast yesterday and somebody asked me a question that stumped me, and I'm pretty sure you could relate. Now that saying what you're saying, I know you can relate, but they asked me, it's like, Eliseo, what is your biggest struggle with, you know, content creation and monetization? And I said, I think my biggest struggle is because you're a giver, because you want to give information freely, because you genuinely want to help people. My biggest struggle is what to like charge for and what not to charge for, because at the end of the day, my wife knows I'll give the house away. Like I'll give all my time away. I'll give you the shoes off my feet, and then I'll be sitting here stuck like Chuck. So I think my biggest struggle is like, kind of like you said, like I could have been created a course. I could have had all these opportunities, but you was like, you know, so like for you, like, how do you, like, what is the line for you? Like, what is the line for like, okay, no, this is a money making opportunity. Okay, no, this is a giving opportunity. Like, how do you internalize that? And like, you know, I would love for me, like, and I'll be completely transparent with this. If I did not have other things in place, if I didn't have, you know, affiliate things in place that were generating, you know, income, if I didn't have my own, you know, website that was generating income, if I didn't have those things, then I probably would have, you know, been a little bit faster on a course because, you know, I do understand. And, you know, for any content creators that are watching this, it is important to make sure that you do consider that in order to be able to sustain this for a long period of time,
you got to make money.
Yes.
So, because of that, you have to find a way to make money. So if it is through helping people via a course, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just for me, like I was saying before, like I just kind of have that thing of like, okay, I've got all, this stuff coming in from over here.
Yeah.
So do I necessarily need to do that, right now at this point in time?
Wow.
So that was kind of, my approach when it comes to the course. But basically in terms of like that line, I'll do it eventually, but like right now I'm actually working on a couple of other things, or actually 3 other things that are going to bring tons of value to the community at scale that are not course related.
Nice.
So within those, there might end up being training that goes into some of those, just for being a user, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, like I would prefer to focus on like those sorts of things versus just building like a standalone course. But I do have the domain name. I've got my Kajabi already, paid for it. I've got my branding together for it. Like I've got all the stuff.
Wow.
But it's just not a priority at this point in time.
That's what's up. So what is a priority? What is the priority for you? 1 million subscribers or not even that?
No, for me, like, and this is another one. I'm just going to be, extremely transparent here. For me, like this whole YouTube experience has been just a life-changing thing for me. It has, it's changed my life in every way that I can imagine. It's changed my brother's life as well. And, just the impact that it's had on me has been so severe. That, one thing that I just focus on in terms of my priority is like, I just need to make sure that I'm getting out content on a somewhat regular basis so that I can help people that are coming into the platform that don't know what to do.
Wow.
So I can help them understand, like, hey, these are things you got to focus on. If you like it or not, these are the rules of the game.
Yeah.
And if you want to play it, then, these are the rules that you got to play by, essentially is the approach that I take. But, for me, it's more about, now it's more about, taking what I know and, giving it to, the YouTube community and helping other people come up, essentially.
Gotcha. Cool. I love that. I know this could be like by niche question, but what would you say is the minimum amount of videos that people should be publishing once a week? I know that's the by niche question, or like it depends, but would you say like once a week is pretty much bare minimum, or do you think people can do even less than that, or they should be doing what is the rule of thumbs in your mind?
It depends on the content. If you're doing entertainment content, then you can get away with, a little bit more space. If you're doing content like you and I, then in that case, putting out content on a regular basis is a good approach. So because of that, if you can get a piece of content out, or maybe even 2 videos, per week out, then that's a good approach. And this, the way to think about it is there isn't necessarily like a golden, like, hey, if you do this, then, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's more about thinking, okay, right now, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm trying to get. And in order to get there, then what do I have to do in order to get there?
Wow.
Does that mean that typically if I put out 52 videos a year, that gives me 52 opportunities to connect with people, to have videos that might, get a substantial amount of views, compared to other videos that will bring attention to anything that I'm working on personally, or bringing attention to any affiliate thing or any sponsor thing. Like, out of that, I've got 52 slots, so to speak. But if I double that, then, I could essentially double income that comes from my YouTube channel, the impact that I'm having for my YouTube channel, my experience in terms of, editing the content, getting better on camera, all of those things. So just thinking of like, this is where I'm at now. This is where I want to be. How much content do I need to put out in order to develop my skills fast enough, and in order to put the right things in place with the content so that I can get there as fast as I possibly can?
That's such a good answer. Like, real talk. That is a really good answer. Kind of reverse engineering. I hear that's like a good thing to do. Reverse engineer, like where you want to be, and like work your way to that based off like what you need to do. And it's funny, I asked you this question in one of the videos, this is how many videos you should upload. It's like it's on your channel. So honestly, like, to be really honest with you guys, I feel like a sucker asking him any YouTube related questions when he has literally an encyclopedia, like a really laid out channel of YouTube tips, advice, everything related to YouTube that you could possibly ever imagine or think of that you need help with. If you go to his channel and just do a search, like, I don't even want to waste our time on the stream asking necessarily YouTube stuff, when I'm telling you now, his channel is the haven for all that information. That's why I think I love the way this conversation went, because it was kind of more about you. But I do have a question as it relates to niche. So sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're fine. You can ask me anything that you want. Yeah, you can ask me anything you want. You're good.
All right. So niche, and I won't even say it's about niche, but I noticed something that you do. I asked you this in Clubhouse too. I asked you in Clubhouse. Your answer was good then. So I want you to give me that same answer on here. I noticed when I go to your channel, a lot of your videos are like about literally the same exact thing. So, and I asked you, like, how do you produce, like, do you do an annual update to videos that you've done? I'm pretty sure, is that one of the processes? Like, and I asked you in Clubhouse, I'm like, how do you stay motivated, literally kind of talking about the same thing every time? And, you know, I just like, me personally as a creator, right? As a creator, I feel like I'm cheating, or I feel like I'm taking shortcuts. But I think what you told me, you was like, and you can kind of step down on this, but you was like, well, not everybody on your channel sees every video. So therefore you have to come back and do like recaps and follow-ups and stuff like that. And plus you have to, things change and stuff. So like, I guess it's me in my own head of like, well, no, let me talk about this. Okay, now next month, let me talk about this again, but put this spin on it. Okay, now the following month, let me talk about that again and put that spin on it. Like, you're really, really, really good at that, because if you go to your channel, a lot of the things you talk about are really video in and video out, the same stuff. Like, how did you master that? And like, what, like, can you step down on that? Like, I would love to hear.
Sure. So when it comes to making, making content that is similar, if you get into the nuance of the content, it's actually different. But if you are making content that is similar topically, then in that situation, at least my approach for my YouTube channel is that this allows me to be able to, always be hitting, the people that are coming onto YouTube trying to figure this out, constantly hitting them with fresh content, right? So that's step number one with that. Two is that when you make content like you and I do, you'll notice over time that, okay, I'm giving people like everything they need to know here to like get good traction, but people just are not listening. Like they're not doing the things. They're not, when they're making their thumbnails. I've told people, a million different times, even people that, will hang out in my live streams or that will comment on every single video that I make. Like, they're still not doing, a lot of people still are not doing the best practices. So because of that, I'm like, okay, what other way can I say this in order to make it hit home? So where, like if I'm like, okay, this is the approach I took with this video. So now let me kind of repackage it and, add some different things to it, come at it from a different angle or, whatever. But like, how can I approach this in another way that might help, this person that is clearly not, applying this stuff that might help it resonate with them to where they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? That totally made sense. I'm going to go apply this to my YouTube channel right now.
And you're like, yeah, I said that 10 times already.
Yeah. If I start going in my comment section, because one of the things that I do is I'll go into my comment section, I'll pop open channels, bam, 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 bam. And when I do that, that helps me just kind of look and kind of see, okay, these are the people that are watching the channel, and let's see, kind of the things that they're doing, the things they're not doing, things they're overlooking, that kind of stuff. And the day that I go down and I start popping open, those channels, and it's like, hey, this person's nailing it, this person's nailing it, this person's nailing it, this person's nailing it. As soon as that happens, then I'll pivot the content and I'll start talking about, more advanced stuff, or I'll start, just kind of taking a deeper, approach with what it is that I'm doing. But until that happens, then, I'll keep on reframing things and keep walking down that road.
And and trust me, that was no knock to you. That, if anything, that was like kudos to you, because it's liberating for me anyway. As a content creator, it's liberating to be like, well, listen, this is my topic matter, right? And until I master delivering this topic matter in many different fronts, in many different ways, there's really no need to go this way with it or go that way with it. Just let me see how I can talk about making thumbnails 100 different times to 100 different personality types, right? Let me see how I can talk about SEO 100 different times to 100 different personality types. But it actually is liberating, because it gives you constant content. It gives you constant topics to talk about that. Like, well, I love what you said. It was like, well, I said it this way, let me say it this way. And you said sometimes that video, after the 9th time, 10th time, it hits home, and they're like, oh, epiphany, so I just really love that, because one of the things I struggle with is like, well, I feel like I did that video already, but I go to your channel, it's like, well, he did it 10 times. So can I, or is it just Nick, or can I do that too? And you're like, no, it's like everybody can totally really immerse themselves in their content. So I love that answer, bro.
In addition to that too, there's also the idea, like, if you have content that's proven to perform on your channel, like that type of content is on mine, then in that case, it's just, a good idea to say, okay, people always respond to this when I publish it. So because of that, I'm going to publish this on a regular basis because I know for a fact, based on, the channel historically, I know for a fact, if I publish a video on this particular topic, that people are going to respond at a higher rate than if I publish a video on this particular topic. So because of that, based on what it is I'm trying to do with the channel or what it is that I'm trying to accomplish for that month or whatever, then in that case, I might need to put out one or two of those videos, whereas, in other times I might go, a month or two without publishing any of those types of videos and doing more unique stuff for the channel.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Roberto Blake said, what I figured out is you make 20% of the course worth 100% of the value, since that is the average of completion. Wow. That's real. I love that, man. So just real quick, we actually already over time, but we got started a little bit late. What I would love to do is, and sometimes we have people jump on, sometimes we don't. I know it's late over there for you, right? What time is it over there?
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, what time is it though? Still, I don't want to.
Right now it's 10 p.m.
All right, cool. I have my link up, eliseoway.com/live stream. What I used to do is I used to take this to Clubhouse afterwards, and people would ask questions or whatever, or come on and give you their remarks or whatever. But now I'm just going to throw my link on the screen. If anybody is on the live stream today and you want to jump on with me and Nick for a few minutes, we're only going to go for a few more minutes, not longer. Literally, probably it's 11:10 here. I'm probably see us cutting this off around 11:20, no more than 11:30. Feel free to come on the stream. You can ask Nick questions. You can give him comments, remarks, whatever. I know without your content, bro, I would be legit probably a little bit lost out here in these YouTube streets. So, definitely want to give you your flowers now, man. So I know you're probably going to say, well, I'm not focused on the numbers. I'm not focused on the subscribers, but is there any, I'm pretty sure you're a sniper. So is there what's your strategy or a legit plan? You could be like, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, but to hit that road to 1 million subscribers. And then when you do, what does that mean to you? Does it mean anything, or it's like, just another number? Like, I want to hear that from you.
So in terms of the approach, I'm going to be increasing my upload schedule. And as part of that increase in my upload schedule, one thing that happens with my type of content is that, and of course, all this depends on the topic of the video, but, since I'm mainly targeting towards people that are getting started, after a certain point, after you've watched, a nice handful of videos and you've learned about all the different tools, you've learned about, all the different, ideas on what you should be doing with the channel. Then in that particular case, a lot of people they'll stay subscribed, but they'll just move on and they'll be like, oh, hey, another Nick video on, getting views, and they, just won't click on it. So because of that, I'm introducing a new series that will pull in some of those people as well. So basically, with that extra upload, the new series is going to be where I'm featuring specific tools and things like that related to content creators. And with that, right out of the gate, they'll probably tank. But long term, that will end up bringing people, more people back to the channel, on a regular basis for that type of content.
Wow. Did you ever? I'm pretty sure you think big. You saw yourself already big, but like honestly, did you ever say see yourself with 1 million subscribers, or was that ever a real thing to you?
Here's the funny thing is I've gained 1 million subscribers already. I've gained, let's see here, 1 million. Let's see here. Let's see here. Right when I hit 800,000, I looked at my stats, and basically I had lost like 250 something thousand subscribers over the course of my YouTube channel. Lord. So I've gained 1 million already. But unfortunately I've just taken a heavy loss, as well. But in terms of, the play button, sure. I'm a content creator. I want that button. Right? Oh, wow. Yeah, I want that plaque on my wall so I can be like, yeah, like I did it. But in terms of, if it's going to mean something, absolutely it will. Because, when you reach milestones like that, and it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 subscribers or 100 subscribers or 100,000 or 1 million, whatever the thing is, it's a testament to your work, and it's a testament to how people resonate with the work that you do as well. So because of that, I definitely, want that play button, and I'm going to be pumped to cross those milestones. Hey. But it's not as big of a priority. Like as it happens, it's going to happen. I'm more focused on like, how can I get people coming back to the channel on a regular basis while still serving, the new crowd? How can I get, more people coming back to the channel on a regular basis? Like that's what I'm going to be focusing on in the future. Love that. Love that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new scene here real quick. Love that answer though. That's such
Such a good answer. I'm going to make a new.
We got like a party on here now.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going to go ahead and create camera source. All right. So we're going to add myself here. Boop. I'm going to
like that overhead shot.
I appreciate it, man. I'm imitating you to be out here in these internet streets. All right. And then so we have 4 people on the stream. So I know.
What's going on, guys?
I know my guy KP, Keith Pelzer. Are you there, brother?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're stuck. You froze.
Oh my God! You know what? I might be having that situation I might have the situation that Doc had last night.
Oh Lord!
I'm running beta. Do I need to get out of beta or something?
Oh, okay. Well, call right back in.
I love that purple, that purple windshield.
Yeah, he's killing it. Call right back in, brother.
Got you.
All right. So I'll just take him off the screen real quick. Where is he at? Guest 3. Cool. All right. I've never had you on my live stream before, brother. Who are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I did not realize I was going to be on live for real. But yeah, my name's Walt.
He said I didn't know I was going to be on live for real. Yeah, we're
here now.
I'm kind of background. I swear, I got a mic too. Yeah.
What's your name?
My name's Walt.
Okay.
Walt again in the second. I just caught the live here working and really loved everything you were sharing. And you actually kind of sparked a question. And I've been kind of wondering this for a while in regards to clips.
Okay.
So on YouTube and whole clip channel. So my first question is have you noticed the clip channel taking away at all from your main channel, or does it actually feed the traffic to it?
So with the clip channel, the only thing that's taken away from the main channel is time that I could be doing something on the main channel, but instead I'm over there, uploading those videos and, getting those ready. But outside of that though, it's actually, when I am publishing there on a regular basis, which I just started doing again, it's actually, starting to, pick up its own momentum and things like that as well, which is great. So because of that, it just kind of adds to what it is that I'm doing. So on that particular channel, because it's clips of live streams, so there's a lot of people that do not like to hang out in live streams because it's, just the format, it's loose and things like that. There's some people love it, some people loathe it, right? So because of that, I'm like, okay, well, I have all this content and there's a ton of people that are not interacting in these live streams. So because of that, how can I get them to interact in this content? How can I get this information to them in a way that they will interact with it? I know, let's make it video format. Let's trick them, right? So let's make it into a video format. So then I basically started putting the clips up there of just little parts of the live streams. And in my case, it's a fortunate situation because all I do during my live streams is just answer questions for hours on end. So because of that, each question is potentially a video for the channel. But in terms of it taking away, absolutely not. One of the things that I do on both channels is I just make sure that I have a playlist on each one of the channels of the new uploads, so that if people do hit the channel page, then of course, it'll kind of interlink them back and forth. There's a more long-term game that's going on there as well, but for right now, that's what we're doing. And then in addition to that, I also share some of those videos on my community feed as well, because what I'm ultimately wanting to accomplish is I'm wanting YouTube to start detecting like, hey, these people that are watching this channel are also watching this channel. So therefore, we're going to start promoting this channel to all these people as well, just because that's how the system works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in terms of it taking away, absolutely not, because I'm just making that content to where I can serve those particular people that they want the information, but they just don't want to hang out in the live stream to get it.
Right.
So because of that, it's an ad versus a takeaway.
Nice. Okay, I like that. I know my interviews are really long form and everything, so I've been thinking about having that clip channel to kind of give those people the bites that they're really looking for. So I like that kind of.
I believe Roberto Blake has one of those as well.
He does.
That's really smart. It's really smart. I mean, long form content. Everybody doesn't have long form content time, So it's really good to repurpose that in the short form. Take the like I'm gonna do with this interview. I'm gonna take the really valuable parts of it and I'm gonna distribute that throughout the internet. So that's really and kind of like what Nick said. It just really funnels people back because people who are like they're gonna seek it out. They're gonna I wonder what's that's from. Oh, okay. And then next thing you know, it's just gonna be more people on your channel. So yeah, that makes really good sense. So we only have a few more minutes. Did you have another question, brother, before we let you go?
Well, I guess like a part 2 to that. Okay. So I'm just now putting more of an emphasis on my YouTube channel, so I haven't grown it just yet. Would it make sense to go ahead and start off with the clip channel or wait till I've seen a bit more growth?
As long as you can put it into your workflow, I would go ahead and do it. The reason I would go ahead and do it is while you're trying to get traction on your long form content channel, this is going to create a different experience because, you know, when somebody sees that timestamper, when they click into the video and they see how long it is, you know, in your long form content, you know, if you do live streams that are like an hour long or more, then that's a heavy commitment for somebody that's never, you know, interacted with you before, they've never consumed any of your content before. Channels like that can do well, but while you're building that channel, you know, putting those clips out there, you start creating these bite-sized, less of a commitment type content. And as long as you make that content good, then you can use that as a bridge to, or as a discovery mechanism to actually, you know, introduce people to you. And then you can use that as a bridge from there to get them from the clips to start, you know, consuming some of your long form content as well. So, you know, because of that, I highly recommend, even if you just started today, as long as you can fit it into your workflow, that you go ahead and you start putting out, you know, clips of your content, just from a discovery perspective. But I would do it on a separate channel. But of course, you can experiment with, you know, going ahead and, you know, trying to do some on your current channel as well, just for the sake of getting more content out on a regular basis on that channel also. I'm not familiar with, you know, like your upload schedule or your stream schedule or anything like that. But if you're streaming, like, you know, let's say once a week, then adding, you know, 1 or 2 of those clips over the course of the week in addition to your stream might be a really good idea. And it's definitely something I would experiment with.
Nice.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Eliseo, for bringing me up.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can hang out if you want. We're only going to go for another 10 minutes, 11:30 our time. I did want to acknowledge we have a new guest in the building. What's up, Nimmin? He has the whole logo and everything back there. What's up? I see you.
What's going on, Nick?
What's up, man?
How's everybody doing?
Good, man.
Fantastic.
I love your setup, man. I love it, man.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's up, KP? Tell us a little bit about yourself real quick, Nimminati, whatever your name is, and then we're going to get to KP.
Magic Flying Potato.
I'm Magic Flying Potato. There you go. And I've been following Nick for about 5 months. I joined the Nimminati, and I really don't have a question. All I got to say is Nick has helped me so much grow my channel. Ever since I've been following him, I went from a couple hundred to I think I gained like 500 new followers within the past 5 months.
Let's go.
Just by like Nick said earlier, he explains how to do things and people don't listen. So it's like every time Nick or D or, you know, one of them explains how to do something on your channel, I go in and try to fix what I'm doing wrong right away.
Wow, love that.
I just want to say Nick has been a huge help for me and in the learning and growing process of my channel.
Man, that's what's up, man.
Thanks for the kind words, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
I'm all like warm inside now. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're going for another 8 minutes. If anybody else calls in, then I'll drop one of you guys and let them on. Until then, y'all just hang out. KP, what's up, brother? Grammy Award winning producer on my screen.
Hey, man, you could drop me first. I'm about to jump on his bike and I just see. So I thought your show, I thought I missed it, and then I see you and Nick on the picture, and I'm like, damn, I missed Eliseo again.
Nah.
And then, so listen, it was just an honor just to be on here. And Nick, let me tell you, man, dude, thank you so much for your contributions to the whole YouTube industry. You inspired me. I am a creative, you know, I'm a producer, songwriter like Eliseo. But at the end of the day, YouTube just wasn't my thing. I didn't know. I just got the character and I jumped on, but it's people like you that made me feel like, yeah, like I can do this. And so I'm all set up with my body camera, about to go get some footage, throw on my YouTube channel. But let me ask you this. So you said something that I like, and I'm also a preacher as well, down to earth guy, but I thought about your YouTubes and you kind of explained it. I look at it like we'll preach from the same scripture over and over again, same text. So like John 3:16, you said it, everybody knows that you said it 1 trillion times if you're in the faith, right? But I look at your videos like you keep taking the same scripture and you keep preaching on the same scripture. And like you said, because people aren't listening the first time. So when I was a kid, I'm like, oh yeah, God is real. And then it's just like somebody preached the same text. And you're like, wow, God is real. And then you say it again. And I'm like, how many times am I going to say the same thing? And people are like, man, but you never said it like that before. So I want to encourage everybody. You can literally say the same thing. I've been doing videos on my teleprompter for like over and over. And each time I do it, somebody's like, that's a great video. I'm like, I said that in the last one, but you liked it and you said you watched it. And then I start shutting up like, you know what? I'm not going to keep saying I said it already.
Wow.
I'm going to just say it again. And that actually helps people. So here's my big question. I'm going to shut up. So I started a YouTube channel called The No Pro, and it was KNOW, meaning here's what I know, but I'm not the pro at it. So I know that I take this body cam out, this GoPro, and it works. Everybody wants one, they snap it on. But if you ask me about the ISO and the stabilization and all, I don't know nothing about that. But I've helped a lot of people just buy stuff because of what I know. So I started the channel, but I've been doing this Convos channel. Do I need to do 2 separate channels and only talk about product on one and blab on the other one? Or do you mix them in the 2? Like, that's a problem for me because I try to do equipment, but then I'm also a talker. And I get a lot of people that'll come in the stream because I'm just talking. And I don't want to alienate those folk if I say, hey, I'm going to talk about the ZVE10. And then we just get into a topic about vaccination. I mean, do I need 2 different channels for that?
What you want to think about, and a lot of content creators will look at niching down as like a restriction. Like that means that I can only make a content on like this one thing. But what you actually want to think about when it comes to niching down is you want to think about who it is that you're making content for. And the reason I say it that way is because if you know who it is that you're making content for, then that really opens you up on what you can do as long as it would be relatable to those people that you're making content for. So for example, if you're making content for people that are interested in tech, but they don't really care about all the details, they just want it to work, then in that case, when you are having your conversations, if you make your conversations about that tech or, you know, somewhat related to that tech or just that approach with the tech, then in that case, you are still speaking to the same people. But if you are in your conversational content, if you are talking about, you know, vaccines, but those people are coming in and they're wanting information from you about tech, then in that case, you're kind of breaking that. So because of that, what I would think is I would think first, who is it that I'm actually trying to reach with this? And then once you know who it is that you're trying to reach, then it opens you up. So for an example that I like to give for this is on my YouTube channel, I'm targeting YouTube content creators, mostly people that are just getting started. That does not mean that I can only sit there and talk about how to do YouTube. That means that I can also talk about live streaming because that's something that YouTubers have to do, or not they have to do, but a lot of YouTubers do. That means that I can also talk about mobile apps because that's something that YouTubers use. That means that I can also talk about editing software, editing techniques, because that's something that YouTubers do. If I wanted to make skit videos on my channel, I could, but I wouldn't make that skit about something that would necessarily be just like pop culture. I would make that skit about something that YouTube content creators would watch it and they would be like, oh God, this is great. And they would relate to every word that came out of my mouth. So what you want to think about is you want to think about who is it that I'm after with this? And then once you know who it is that you're after, then you build everything that you're doing around that target avatar that you're chasing.
Wow. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. So wait, who does the bags?
I love your setup, by the way. Love the setup. Love the glass. Love the purple on the microphone. Like your whole thing, man. I absolutely love it.
I'm an Eliseo student.
Nah, don't do that. No, nice. I learned from him, y'all. He's saying that because he's being funny. I learned from him, y'all. Nah.
No, we iron sharpens iron, bro. You know how we do. You know how we do. Wait, so do you have a who's got the bag? Do you make bags as well? Is that you that make camera bags? Who makes the bag? Was that a joke or something? Because I could have sworn I heard about. Okay, all right. I'm like, somebody, I heard a Nimmin something that makes bags. Okay.
Nope.
You know, they just get the bag, brother. They just get the bag.
They get the bag.
Yeah, we're getting it. We're not making them. We're getting it.
All right, I'm gonna make room for somebody else. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We're jumping off in 2 minutes. I just want Nick to kind of close us out. My question is there, as a YouTuber or a creative entrepreneur, is there anything that you see now with your foresight coming down the pipeline that you like, creators should be paying attention to this, creators should be implementing this? Like, is there something that you see with your expert eye, like, you guys need to focus on this? Is there anything that you see coming down that we really should be paying attention to?
Absolutely. YouTube has all of these different features, right? They've got stories, they've got their community feed, they've got videos, they've got live streaming, they've got shorts now. Use as much of it as you can, as much of it as you can, get into your workflow. If that means, hey, I'm going to have another channel for shorts or whatever, like do it. YouTube is here. It's going to be here for quite some time. And because of that, like you want to tap into everything it is that they have available because there's opportunities on all of it. Yeah. So, like one thing, for example, like the community feed, if you have 500 subscribers now is the milestone that you need in order to get the community feed. So they lowered that. Yeah. So a lot of content creators, even if they have the community feed, they just don't use it. Yeah. And because of that, they're missing out on the opportunities to get to know who their audience is at a deeper level by asking very specific questions to help you understand them better. Yeah. They're missing the opportunity to increase their monthly view counts because they can share their own content in there. They're just missing all of these opportunities because they're not using all of the stuff that YouTube provides. Even though there's competitors, you have TikTok, which is now getting more watch time apparently than YouTube is for certain demographics. Wow. But you have those types of competitors, but the overall big picture with YouTube, they're not going anywhere. So because of that, like you really should just start utilizing everything that they have available and just dedicate to it. In terms of like, hey, go ahead and upload to the other things as well because you might pop there. But if you are going to be on YouTube, do all the stuff, right? Like learn how to use all the different features in terms of, the stories, the community feed, live streaming, shorts, all of that. And also just make sure that you do spend that time learning the back end as well. Yeah. Because there's the fun side of being a content creator, which is like, hey, I'm making stuff. This is awesome stuff. I'm putting it out there. People are loving it. There's that side, which is great. But then there's the work side. Wow. The work side is, okay, I got to go into my analytics. I got to figure out what people are responding to, what people are not responding to. I got to figure out stuff that I'm doing in my videos that make people leave, stuff that I'm doing in my videos that make people leave, even little things, like one of the things that I love about your live stream is that you have this moment to where you say, I don't like to have a dry stream, so let me turn on some music, right? Yeah. Absolutely love that. Yeah. So in your case, one of the things that should be done in that situation is you should start noting over time, hey, during that period of time to where I kick on music, do people leave during that part? Or is that something that kind of, causes people to hold because they know the show's actually starting, at this point in time because we're turning the music on. Wow. But, just start looking into, little details like that. Yeah. And the more that you can understand what's happening on the back end, that helps you understand how the humans that are interacting with the platform, that will help you understand how they're interacting with what it is that you're doing, because all those numbers, like it's easy for us as content creators to just look at all the numbers and be like, like, hey, this percentage of that and this percentage of that. Wow. But at the end of the day, those numbers are simply just a reflection of how the people that are on the platform are responding to what it is that you're doing. That. So because of that, like go in there and start learning how to interpret what it is that you're seeing so that you can start making better content and just get a better response overall from the people that are interacting with your stuff.
I love
and
that.
Stick to it too.
Yeah.
Stick to it. Because when you get lazy, then, then things will kind of, things start falling apart. Yeah. But like when you stick to it and you're like, hey, I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to upload videos, on the same day. I'm going to do like all these things in terms of the consistency side. There's a huge advantage to that as well. So, stick to it. Be consistent, learn all you can, learn the back end, the work side of YouTube, and just keep on trucking.
So give him a trigger on that, Eliseo. Give him a trigger something.
I'm so like usually I'm triggering down, but I'm so wrapped up in what he's saying. Just to kind of step down on what he's saying.
This boy church, man, he like preaching. You sitting there like,
nah.
Hey, here's a little side fun thing for you. So up until I was like 12 or 13, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but up until about like 12 or 13, I actually wanted to be a preacher.
Hey.
So like I would, I would go to church with like my great grandma, and that's kind of where the whole thing started. When I was just like a baby, I was like crawling under the pews and stuff like that. But I remember looking at the preacher, and I was like, "Man, that's just awesome. I'd love to be able to do that." Yeah, so they would dress me up in a suit and have me hold like a little Bible and all this other stuff. Like, but yeah, like back then, I was like, "Yeah, that's what I want to do." But somewhere around like 12 or 13, So, but yeah, up
he
to that
officially
point,
gets a sneaker preach. He officially is indoctrinated into the sneaker preach community. Hashtag SAP.
No, but something I wanted to say real quick is he said to take advantage of all the opportunities on YouTube, all the features. If you're just a creator that's just uploading videos, you're missing out on so many opportunities, especially the community tab. And I will say about the community tab is it goes down in the community tab. And you can schedule your post on the community tab. So you can literally, I know a girl who spends her Sunday evening for like an hour scheduling her post out, and she's done with the community tab. She just goes there and interact now. It's not like she has to keep up with it. You can natively schedule your posts from the community tab right on YouTube. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of the GIFs now. You can put GIFs in your community tab on YouTube. I can't tell you how many times I'm scrolling down my phone and I see a GIF in the community tab and it totally stops me in my tracks because it's not a video. I'm like, what is this? So like totally be putting GIFs in your community tab. And also I know you've seen that thing coming down the pipeline too, Nick, about if you're in the YPP, you have to have the 2 authentication thing.
Two-factor?
Yeah. Have you seen that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if you're in the YouTube partner program, then make sure that you set that up. I think it's before November or something, or you won't. I don't know. I don't know if you'll be kicked out or you'll be locked out. I don't know, but definitely while you guys are on here, make sure that you get that email and take advantage of that and do your 2 authentication thing for YouTube. So yeah, other than that, man, this stream has went way over. I only usually do about 60 minutes. So I thank you so much for just bearing with us, all the viewers.
This is great.
Yeah. I wanted to jump back in the comments, but I don't. That will take us to a whole nother route. But thank you so much. I'm sorry, you said your name was Walt?
Yeah, Walt.
Yeah, Walt. Thank you so much. What was your name? I'm sorry. One more time. Yeah, you.
I'm Brad.
Okay, Brad.
Yeah, me. I'm Brad.
and KP, thank you for jumping on. And also thanks to our guest, Nick Nimmin, the one and only, the GOAT, the man with the plan that we all learn so much from. Thank you for everything that you do, bro, everything that you give to the creative community, the YouTube community, and just getting a chance to be on this stream with you and hear your heart. Like, it's the one thing to like see you work and do your thing, but like to hear your heart and like your whole motive for like what you do is just mind blowing, just amazing, man. So, it's really dope to know that, you come from that angle with what you do. And, man, we really appreciate it, man. So, any final words?
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate you, let me come on here and, and talk to your viewers, and to the people on screen, as well. So, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
That's what's up. So, man, let's be kind of rooting and cheering for him. He's gonna get to 1 million subscribers no matter what, because he does his thug thizzle.
I thought he already had 1 million.
Yeah. Man, we're rooting for you, Nick. Man, and we're really looking forward to everything you have coming out this year and next year, 2022. I can definitely see like a whole conglomeracy coming from like the Nimminati, a whole big deal with the courses and all that stuff. So, man, we're really looking forward to everything that you got going on. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the stream tonight, man. Today I usually do this at night, but since he's on the other side of the world, we had to do it in the morning.
Yeah, you threw me off, Eliseo.
I know, man. But
I thought it was a replay or something. You threw me off, man.
Man, take those.
I'm here for the morning streams.
I know. Yeah, take that text off your face, man. We want to see your face, my brother.
Oh, look, it's the Eliseo way, man.
Oh, the Eliseo way. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Wait, Nick, did Eliseo tell you how he really got started? Did he actually tell you?
No,
you won't believe this. He was like, he didn't know what the hell he was doing with Ecamm, right? Everybody jumped on to help him. And his stream, he's like, oh, I'm trying to figure out this interview mode. So I think our boy DJ Strick was on him, like, I'm gonna help you out. Eliseo, like, I'm trying to figure out these buttons. And then everybody just Rock, Diana, Kurt Nugent, everybody crazy. Just conversing on him. Yeah. And everybody was calling somebody. It was just people on the stream. Yeah. And Eliseo was like, all right, I got to get off. We're like, no, you're not getting off. And then he's like, oh, the next thing you know, it's a 4-hour stream. Before you know it, everybody's following Eliseo because he's got bombs dropping, things going on the screen. And then he goes, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm trying to learn from y'all. It's like, come on, dude. Seriously.
Man. Like, man, you got to always be learning, bro. Always be learning, man. So, yeah, I appreciate it. My first stream, like Doc Rock, Diana, this guy was on there. So, it was pretty dope, man. So, I take streaming pretty seriously. Like, streaming is a multi-billion-dollar business, guys. So, if you guys have a business, right, and you really want to become like etch yourself out there as an influencer in your space and really like have that authority, of course, there's multiple ways to do that. But live streaming, I feel is like one of the best ways to really insert yourself as an authority figure, influencer in your space. So I'm really passionate about live streaming. I love it. We're not going to get on that soapbox, but I love you all, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks again, Nick. Thanks for everybody for watching.
Thank you.
And we will see y'all in the next stream. Peace.
Thanks for watching. Tune in next week. Same time, same place. God bless.